Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, I think we're live. So, uh, messages should appear right now. Okay, welcome everybody to another one of this special. I guess not that special now. Streams. It's called Live Solutions, and the main goal of this, of course, as I always say to you, is for you to ask whatever questions you have about bass. I think I'm actually starting a little bit late than usual, and it's been kind of like an off week, I guess, for my work. You know, just uploading because I work kind of like every day, but I haven't uploaded anything in a while, so we should be back next week with some new things. But for now, we have this, and as I said, you can. This is a place for you to ask questions about bass, of course. We have guitar also. We can cover that. We have whatever knowledge I can give you about some theory things, maybe some equipment things you want to know, maybe whatever knowledge I can transfer to you. So, hola también gente en español, como siempre respondiendo también. And I'm trying now not to divide the multi-language thing usually occurs in the channel. I have people from all around the world, I guess, more than other parts. But I have some people from uh, Spanish-speaking countries that I belong to. Of course, you can notice my lovely Latin American accent trying to speak English. So uh, frequently asked questions, of course, that leads me to it. I guess um, I'm not from America. I'm from a place called Chile. That it's a country in South America. I've been playing for about 6 years. I always say the name of the bass. It's a Washburn Taurus T24. And what else I can tell you that everyone asks me actually. Everyone is always asking that things that I put up in every description. So I usually get a little mad when I have to repeat myself in that matter. But I kinda like getting used to it. Okay. So probably I don't even know what time is the better, the best hour for me to do this, because I don't know what time is it in your country. So you can tell me about that if you want me to move it a little bit later, maybe a little bit maybe before this time. I don't know. You can tell me. Okay. So we have some people. We have Mr. Nassim, as always. Mongo del Dongo says, "Any tips on improvisation?" Okay, I can give you kind of like the knowledge I have on it. I don't consider myself a person with great language on improvisation, but I have some type of knowledge that kind of like time gave me, and I think the most important thing is, first of all, knowing what you're playing. Of course, it's not just learning a scale and using it every time. You need to first of all obey to your musical and melodic mind, I guess. Not by knowing a lot of things you will get a nice solo out of something, or maybe improvising a line. But I think the most rich thing in the bass, it's trying to improvise lines, and maybe you can do a little solo, maybe you can do a little improvisation, kind of like in a solo part. But I think if you know, for example, you're in a band and you have a song that it's composed, I don't know, by some chords, let's say C major, I guess, and maybe D minor, and then A minor. There you have a song, maybe. Suppose the guitar is doing something like that, C major, D minor, A minor. So first thing I should assume, it's I should know the key we're playing on, or maybe get the notes that compose that chords, to get into it, to get into creating a line, or maybe even improvising one. So maybe we can take this C major chord for as an example. So I think that everyone should know it's what notes compose a chord. Okay, maybe maybe some of you already know, maybe some of you don't know, but and C major is composed by mainly by 3 notes. It's called a triad, and you have the name of the chord that comes from the tonic, or maybe the root note that is called, and it's a C. Then you have the major third that makes the quality of the chord in terms of being major or minor. If we would have a minor third, we would have a minor chord, but we have a major third, so it's C and a major third above it, and that's an E, and finally we have the fifth, that's a G. So you can kind of like, if you memorize those patterns in the instrument and in your head, you can already begin to with those 3 little notes, kind of like creating something, some type of line in a C major chord. So maybe we have something like this, and maybe the bass is just playing the root, like in most of the cases that is, okay? Maybe you do a little bit of the octaves, and we're playing, and whatever. But we can kind of like expand our knowledge and expand our language in a way. In some cases that is needed. In some cases that depends on you. You can actually do a great line just maybe accenting on the root notes, and maybe the fifth. That's the usual place to come in the most easy lines, if you put it that way. Maybe you have the root and the fifth, and you can actually play a lot of things with it. We're using the same harmony I just said, and then A minor. But you can expand this a little further with using the use of the third, and then with the use of passing notes, the use of the entire scale that compounds, that it's kind of like inserted in the chord. And of course you can maybe forget all about it and just go with your mind, and that maybe in some cases would be great. It's not that bad, okay? So maybe you can use the third there, right here. you can kind of like form maybe a line, kind of like with the knowledge you get, you will get a more expanded language, and that's important, I guess. I think it is important. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's it with improvising in a really, I think in a nutshell, if you say. Um, but there's a lot of many things you can actually go to. Usually, I just kind of like use my, of course, the knowledge I have, but I use more of my instinct when I'm playing, and I know things will sound better than some other things, and that's the important thing. Knowing your tensions, it's the root of everything. There's not much of it. Um, Mr. Anthony Miller says, your tips last week helped me tremendously. I'm doing much better at hammer-ons and pull-off, and I'm reaching notes much easier. And I'm glad. I'm really glad to know I'm actually helping you a little bit. Okay. I remember. Maybe I remember your question. It was a good question, and I'm glad it helped you. I'm really glad. Sometimes knowing a little bit of, I think that's the teaching thing in a really resumed way. It's just trying to point people into a knowledge, but you can give people knowledge. I don't give you anything in a way that you can actually now get everything on the internet, or maybe with some classes or whatever. But you can actually get to hear me, maybe my opinion on that, and kind of like empathize on it, and give you a little bit of my experience. That's everything. But yes, trying to learn Judith by Perfect Circle, and I get the pull-off or hammer-ons right. Santiago Rodriguez, hello. But yeah, if you want me to repeat the thing about hammer-ons, I guess some people get it a little bit wrong in the use of it, but mostly one thing kind of like can correct other things, especially with position. When you have really good position of your hands, much of the things you may be struggling with will be solved in a way, I really think. That's why it's so important to practice that really slow, and trying to get kind of like put a lot of attention on it. Okay, always having your wrist in a comfortable but lift maybe position, depending on the parts you're playing. If you're and you can notice, maybe if I'm playing something like this, I'm moving my wrist to kind of like get a comfortable position from every string. You don't have the same position on your wrist and hand for each string, for every string. You don't kind of like lock on your hand in a position and just do something like this. You will suffer in that way. For example, you will need to kind of like surround with this motion, especially in these cases when you have to reach on these parts. And I actually told you about an exercise that it wasn't that it wasn't that hard to practice, I guess, but it's really important trying to play these 4 notes right there with a good position, and one finger and in each one of it. It's not an easy thing to do with good sound and with good position. And maybe some people can't actually get it that well, because it actually depends a little bit, just a little bit, on the size of your hands, of course. but many people always kind of like use it as an excuse. Uh, when you say, okay, my hands are too little to do this, but in some cases that's not the thing that you're doing wrong. Okay. Um, Anonymous guy says, would it be okay to learn bass on an acoustic bass? I would love to have actually an acoustic bass. I really like them, and I think if the construction is good, you can get much out of it. I used to play bass when I didn't have actually a bass. I used to just play it with an acoustic guitar and kind of like simulate it as if was as if it was a bass. And of course it's not the same, but with an acoustic bass you kind of like have the same thing, so it shouldn't be a problem, I guess. But yeah, it's quite cold here in my country, so I'm actually a little bit cold. But maybe if the questions are not flowing that much, I have something prepared that I'm trying to. Actually, I have a lot of songs that I'm trying to practice, and that's the other thing you can actually ask that I kind of like forgot to tell you. But if you have some problems with some parts of some songs I've been uploading, you can actually tell me about it, and we can kind of like um, go to that part and analyze it a little bit more. I don't usually do the usual tutorial, 20-minute tutorial for each song. I just put the tabs and play along with it. And some people may require a little bit more of attention on it, so if you want that, you can actually have it. Ignacio Rojas pregunta, ¿puedes cantar y tocar a la vez? Lo intento. Cuando tengo que tocar con mi banda, generalmente tengo que hacerlo para hacer algunas armonías en general, coros. Con la banda tratamos de hacer eso con mi vocalista, y a veces es complicado, a veces tengo que dejar un poco de lado quizás la complejidad en el bajo para poder tener un poco más de ayuda mental arriba, pero es difícil especialmente combinar melodía con bajo. Es bastante complicado hacer las dos cosas al mismo tiempo. Te recomiendo tocar hasta la muerte la línea de bajos que tengas preparada, cosa de que no sea un problema para ti después hacer algo encima, como quizás yo estar tocando y hablando al mismo tiempo, que ya es bastante difícil. Pero eso. Hey dude, I just got a flanger for my bass today. It's great. That's great, man. Sorry, but which one is your band? You can search it on YouTube. Actually, it's called Ibanez. We pronounce it that way, but you have to spell it Inheres. And we have kind of like covers from from some anime things, from some series in general. We like to. I think the idea started with that, but we have some original songs also. It's kind of like the dream band that I'm trying to lead to somewhere. So maybe we will. I don't know. Okay, I have a question. Do you have any advice to get the triads in schism? I don't know how I never knew how to pronounce it, but the Tool song, nice. I'm really struggling with it. I'm not really sure what part are you referring to. Maybe if you could tell me, I can actually go to the tablature. But if you're thinking about this, that is not called a triad, so that's called a triplet. But it may be kind of like a mistake. But if not, you can tell me and we can correct that. En Spanish, una pregunta. ¿Cómo haces para que a tus dedos no le salgan ampollas o callos? Es imposible evitarlo. Lamentablemente es un proceso por el que vas a tener que pasar. Especialmente cuando empiezas a slapear. Tus dedos van a sufrir, pero te recomiendo no romperte las ampollas que te vayan a salir. Trata de drenarlas, pincharlas, quitarles el líquido y tratar de dejarlas ahí, cosa de que eso se convierta más rápidamente en un callo. Y después va a ser un poco más difícil que te sigan saliendo. Más en español, ¿cómo te sientes cuando logras tocar bien una canción que te gusta mucho? Me siento hermoso, especialmente cuando es difícil. Em, em, y cuando me gusta mucho, mejor todavía. Creo que esa es la satisfacción que mucha gente podría llegar a tener con alguno de los videos que trato de hacer. Eso es lo que yo pienso, por el otro lado de la pantalla. Un saludo para Jorge Capo Chemical. He visto que tus poleras me aparecen en Facebook. ¿Es oficial o no? Sí, es oficial. Pueden comprarlas en el link que debería aparecer. Están buenas, me gustan. I think I have to repeat it in English because I just threw a campaign, the first kind of like official T-shirt for the channel. So if you want to check it out and maybe buy one, and maybe support me in some other way. Okay, most of you know I have Patreon for the maintaining thing. Patreon kind of like fits me in a way. But if you want to give me a little support and also get a little piece of merchandising, whatnot, you can go to the link. Actually, I think I have it in the description right here, so you can check them out. Hola, te hago una pregunta. Hace poco empecé a tocar, pero sé poco y nada de teoría. ¿Qué me recomiendas para empezar? ¿Algún libro? ¿Clases en línea? Bueno, aparte de ofrecerte mi ayuda en cualquier sentido de cualquier pregunta que puedas tener, lo más importante ya lo tienes, creo que es internet. Desde bajar libros, puedes buscar PDF, libros de música, con cosas así. Recuerdo haber comenzado a instruirme en pequeñas cosas, pero obviamente clases ayudan bastante más por lo que significa tener clases, más que es más por la constancia de lo que significa tener clases, diría yo. Pero si uno tiene la constancia propia, puede llegar a saber bastante solamente con tener la oportunidad de acceder a la información. Libros que sean buenos no recuerdo realmente, pero trata de buscar algo que te implique que es un libro de aproximación a la armonía, quizás introducción a la música. Recuerdo haber bajado bastantes libros y haber leído bastantes que eran un bastante buen approach a llegar a saber ciertas cosas. Pero lo mejor a veces es también tocar y tratar de analizar como lo hacemos en cada canción. Analizar armonía, intentar de ver cuál es el acorde que estamos tocando, intentar conocer ciertas cosas y hacer hartas preguntas, creo que es lo más importante. ¿Okay? Harto en español, ¿eh? Parece que la gente de Estados Unidos está durmiendo. es mejor aprender solo o con un maestro. Tal como decía, eso depende mucho de ti. Yo creo que si tú tienes la constancia para, puedes aprender solo bastantes cosas. Y si tienes la oportunidad de tocar con más gente, creo que te puedes incluso obviar el asunto del maestro. Yo creo que lo más importante de tener un profe a veces es tener a alguien con quien tocar, alguien que te pueda enseñar más de tu lenguaje. Pero creo que esta es una era en la que puedes sacar mucha información de sentado en la casa de una y otra forma. Pero a veces no es tan bueno estar sentado, a veces también es bueno tener experiencias musicales con otras personas y eso te va a guiar también de una u otra forma. Em, ¿Te parece bien que me copie de tu canal? Dice Your Bass Tabs. No tengo nada que decir al respecto. No, esto no es una idea con copyright. Y me sentiría orgulloso de saber que al menos hay gente que lo está haciendo, aparte de yo. Pero te deseo mucha suerte, porque es bastante complejo en ciertos sentidos. Y ojalá hacerlo con responsabilidad, porque muchas veces he tratado de tener más responsabilidad en cuanto al contenido que entrego para que sea lo más fidedigno posible, que eso es importante, y lo más didáctico posible para mí. Y creo que a veces entregarle al mundo un tab malo más no es tan bueno. Así que intentar hacerlo no sería malo. Um, Cover Solutions. I reckon you should try for a signature bass. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Maybe sometime I could have something like that, but I always say I like the idea of playing on a not very expensive and not that great instrument. A lot of things. If maybe I could kind of like make this one a signature with some adjustments, I would keep this one just all the time, I think. Pregunta Franco Cartes, ¿tu familia no te molestaba o hueveaba por el hecho de aferrarte tanto a la música? Tuve la suerte en verdad de tener una familia que me apoyaba que me apoya en todo lo que me gusta hacer. Creo que eso es lo más importante. Y si no tienes la suerte de tenerla, mándalo a la mierda en verdad y trata de hacer lo que tú quieres hacer y hacerlo bien. Porque al momento que lo empiezas a hacer bien, la gente se empieza a dar cuenta, quizás es en serio lo que realmente quiere. Quizás no es un capricho estúpido. Entonces mientras más tienes esa presión, más empiezas a demostrar y de esa manera más empieza a surgir tus ideas de cierta forma. Yo creo que de una u otra manera tenía que demostrar, porque ya sabemos que en Chile no es llegar y ser músico. em, de una forma u otra tienes que demostrar que lo que quieres hacer es realmente bueno, profesional y tienes una buena idea o tienes una buena decisión para llegar a hacer las cosas. Así que eso es lo más importante. Decidirse por algo, pero también no quedarse dormido en ello. English. If you want something in English, you can ask something in English. I don't have any problem. But I have a lot of questions right now in Spanish, so I'm just responding to them. Okay? And I do request if you want to, actually, I can play something, a little bit of something if you want to. Why not? I really don't care about copyright much right now. decir a las 68, maybe 68, 69 people that are on right now that I'm going to upload on Monday's Black Hole Sun. I actually prepared it, and it was really fun to actually play and get the harmony of it, and trying to get into it. And it's a song I really like, and I hope every one of you see it. Dude, you know your Hysteria bit, it's amazing and perfect. Oh, but I can't find the tabs. Yeah, I actually committed the I think the mistake in the first place when I didn't know this was going to be that big. I guess I actually didn't save the tablatures. I just forgot them and maybe erased them. I don't know why, but I actually don't have much of the original transcriptions, the first ones. So I probably would have to retranscribe it. But fortunately, you have the little video, so maybe we can kind of like go on with that. I always try to upload every tab. I don't want to sell them. I don't want to keep them hidden. But in one way or another, it's better for me for you to just watch the video, of course. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to limit you with the options of having the information. Programa, ¿cómo hago para abrir las tabs? Busca un programa que se llama Go Play Along. Es muy bueno. Debe estar en descripción también, me parece. Consejos para tocar el bajo con púa. Lo he dicho bastantes veces. Creo que lo más importante es saber cómo primero tener un buen agarre. El agarre más estándar que se podría usar es pensar que esta parte de tu dedo, en esta parte de tu dedo va justamente la uñeta, y simplemente después cubres con el pulgar. ¿Ya? De una u otra forma te debería quedar así. Y la forma oficial de tocar sería solamente con ese movimiento. Especialmente en bajo, que hay que aplicar un poco más de fuerza quizás. Los otros dedos te sirven como apoyo. Pero generalmente, no sé, yo por ejemplo dejo libre estos dedos y es usual ver gente que toca así. Especialmente guitarra. Quizás en bajo se ve más esto. Y lo que sea, ¿ya? Importante tener un buen agarre y un buen alternado también. Practicar ejercicios con alternado hacia abajo de esta manera y hacia arriba. Movimiento de muñeca, bastante también. ¿Qué modelo es tu bajo? Es un Washburn Taurus T24. ¿Cómo sacas el sonido de tu bajo en este momento? ¿O es simplemente el ampli? ¿Cuánta pregunta en español, Dios mío? Me voy a desmayar. El bajo lo saco directamente hacia una interfaz que es una Scarlett 2i2 de Focusrite. Pero antes de eso voy con el cable, la línea, hasta una caja directa, que es una IMP2 de marca Whirlwind, y después con otro cable XLR va directamente hacia la interfaz, y luego lo que estás escuchando es el sonido directo. Ningún procesamiento aparte, ¿ya? Pero generalmente para los videos ocupo bastante procesamiento de VST, simulación de gabinete, de amplitud, y aparte plugins para ecualizar, masterizar, mezclar, etcétera. Especialmente plugins de waves que puedes buscar en todas partes. Can you play rap, please? I don't actually know any rap lines. I'm not quite proud of that statement. Maybe you can let me know of a song and we can play along with it. Cuenta anécdotas con el sonidista en vivo, pero en inglés. Okay, someone is trying to convince me to talk to you about histories from the sound guy on a live gig, and I actually have a lot of them. If you play a little bit, you will encounter many, especially incompetent sound guys, and usually some really nice specimens, and usually one or other guy might be a good guy, but some of them, and I actually know because I studied a little bit of sound engineering and whatever. Most of them are not that at least not that patient with you, but you really need to have a lot of knowledge, and with more knowledge, especially in their area, you will have not much problems. You know, but I don't have that much stories. I remember some guys that are really deaf, and they just turn everything up, and they play, and they turn up the drums usually, and they have the thing that it's always so loud in some gigs, and I really don't like it that way. We usually argue about it in when we're waiting for other bands or whatever. Usually it's so loud, and there's no need to it in some cases. But I don't know. I don't have anything in mind right now. Marvento says, "Hey, Cover Solutions, I got a question. How do you slap the A string, as I usually struggle with slapping it properly? I just slapped the fretboard and hurt my thumb." Okay, shouldn't be much different from slapping any other string. Okay, if you slap the E string, it might be a little bit easier because you don't have a string in this part, above it. But of course, if you want to go to the A string, usually you need a little bit more of precision, more accuracy on it. But the motion should be the same. Try to use a lot of your wrist motion to get it and get a good position. It's different playing from here than from here. You can see I lower my entire arm to go from here to here. But of course, I actually remember having a lot of problems with it, and it's all about getting accustomed to your instrument, and your muscle memory will play an important role in it, and then you will not even need to watch. I'm actually not watching when I'm playing now. I'm not watching. Okay, entonces, claro. So you have first of all, important to practice kind of like these exercises, trying to play an open string, then play the other open string, then the other open string, and then the other one, and trying to have the same attack for every one of them. doing a lot of that, and then you can alternate from E to D to A to G. And knowing the instrument will give you a lot of confidence on what place to play. Will not be a thing that you will think that much in the later processes, but important to know your technique, and that's something you really have to always have in mind. Okay, always relax, always using the wrist, using the I don't know how to call it actually, but it's this part of the thumb for you to play, so you get a good sound, and always playing in this part. But of course, you maybe maybe you can miss one or another hit, but with some practice, you shouldn't miss anyone. Can you tell me how to become better at using your fourth finger and how I should hold my hand? I am switching from a violin and it's way different. Of course, it's different. Each instrument is different, but you may have a little bit of an advantage because you know a lot of things. You know how to, if you played a little violin, maybe you know how to use a correct position, especially with your left hand. But I don't think that you specified me what hand do you want to know about. Okay, but I will assume, of course, if it is the fourth finger that you're talking about, the left hand, because we don't really use that much this finger for the right hand. But yes, it's very important to use it to kind of like lose your fear to use it, because of course this finger, it's the most weak of them all, so you have to especially try to enforce it in some way or another. So a lot of exercises involving the pinky or fourth finger. So maybe something like this. You can play. I usually play something like this. Just you can pick maybe the fifth fret right here and the eighth. That's a C and a E flat, and you have this interval, a minor third, and you just play with this. So you're kind of like using this finger to maintain a little bit of a structure, but this is the finger you need to put a lot of attention, and you can switch it up. Maybe you can do a lot of pentatonic exercises. This is a pentatonic scale, but using your fourth finger. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So in those cases, most people have this little error, and it's really important. Always when you're doing an octave, in really different cases, you will not do it, but always when you're doing octaves, you will need to use your index finger and your pinky or fourth finger. Okay, it's not usually something like this with the ring finger. Okay, that doesn't fit in your hand that great, and anyone could tell you that it's really, if you take the distance from the third and the fifth fret, kind of like the whole hand fits into it. So it's the most natural thing would be just doing something like this, using the pinky or fourth finger. But in some cases, you don't send it kind of like alone. You don't do something like this. Okay, this is not a good position because you're stretching too much of your fingers and you're kind of like creating tension, and that's not very recommended. You should just direct your motion with all your fingers. Okay, this finger, when you move this finger, usually this one moves with it, so don't fight with it. Okay, okay, give me a little bit of time, please. Okay. Where was I? I don't remember. Yeah. So important to always use it and not evade the use of the fourth finger, because it may be not that great. Actually, I remember playing and not getting any sound from doing something like this. It will always sound like something and out of strength, because you don't have that much strength, and that's the thing you need to kind of like train a lot. Okay, having the strength in your fourth finger, and for that a lot of octaves also will help you, but using always the pinky. Okay. No te vayas más, te extrañé mucho. Okay. I'm going to call my bass black dust because it looks awfully dusty. Bajista favorito, pregunta típica de una u otra manera, pero creo que no me gusta hablar de favoritos, creo que siempre lo he dicho, porque a veces te limita un poco, ¿ok? Pero los que en primera medida han influenciado obviamente son importantes de una u otra manera. Las influencias primeras son importantes, pero hay que tratar de no pegarse con un favorito, creo. Tener la mayor posibilidad de abrirse a más instrumentistas, y eso es lo que en lo que me ha ayudado el canal de una u otra forma, aparte de muchas otras cosas, es eso, tener la oportunidad de tocar las líneas que tocan muchos otros bajistas, no solamente los que te gustan incluso. Pero obviamente Flea de una u otra manera influencia mucho por lo popular que es como institución del bajo, especialmente creo que en Latinoamérica hay mucha influencia de Red Hot Chili Peppers de una otra manera, o mucha influencia funk. Siempre lo he pensado. Em, pero en general te podría hablar de esos y de un par más, pero no podría sacar mucho aporte de saber, aparte de que sea un dato. Se perdió algo por ahí. Okay, any tips on how to slap on a 5-string bass? I just can't control the B string and stop ringing. Um, I don't have the opportunity to have one, and I never actually played one, a 5-string. But if the problem is stop it from ringing, it's something that you can a problem that you can have in many other cases. So it's really important to play slow and try to use any resource to mute undesired sounds. Okay, if I'm playing something like this, maybe something like this. I'm always trying to mute. Okay. I actually don't remember if the question was in English or Spanish. I'm going mad. Okay, it was in English. Yeah. So when I'm playing this string, maybe slapping it, and then you go to maybe this string on another position, I actually may use this finger, the middle finger, to stop the ringing out of it if I need to. Usually, so if you have something like this, when I'm doing this, I'm using my middle finger to stop the ringing. But you can use other things. You can use the palm of your hand right here in the right hand to stop the sounds. It's important. Jacob A says, "Love your vids." Thank you. What else? ¿Algún consejo para componer? Componer en bajo, componer canciones en general. A really important exercise I'm going to have the opportunity to tell you, and I always try to practice it, and if you use it well, it will help you. And I always kind of like repeat it to myself, and it's using a major scale in this position, usually maybe a C major scale, and doing it like this. First, knowing it, you know, in the usual ascending and descending way. it's not that hard to memorize. You have two patterns. First, this pattern, and you have a. It's the eighth. It's C, D, then 10 on E string. Go to A string. In the seventh, you have E, F, G, E, F, G. Then changes to D string, and you have the seventh A, B, C. And you complete it with D, E, F, and you go back F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, C, D. D, C. I think I said it not that great. It's difficult, especially when you're not used to say it like that. Okay, I always say it, but I would go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, whatever. Entonces, yeah, you can play like this, and that's already a great exercise. And you already will know a major scale, that's really important. But you can play around with it, and I usually do something like this, and more for intermediate to advanced players, I guess. But this is important. Play it this way, maybe. And back. Sorry. Okay. That really increases your hand movement and finger precision and much things. It's really important and really contextual to a song. You're not doing something like this. It's chromatic, but in some cases it's not that that great for a context in which you should maybe play something like this. Going by the scales, so this is a great exercise, and it goes just like that. It's C, D, E, and then go back to C, D, E, F, and you go step by step, going one up. Okay, C, D, E, C, D, E, F, D, E, F, G, E, F, G, A, F, G, A, B, G, A, B, C. Okay. Yep, that's a good exercise if you want to apply it. Comments, questions before we go, because we don't have actually much time. I just noticed. Play Another One Bites the Dust. I don't remember, but it's actually one of the most. It's kind of like the music store classic. That's it. It's a great line, actually. There you have a great line that it's not that complicated in a way. Pregunta en español: ¿cuánto tiempo te lleva aprenderte una canción en bajo? Dice Guitar Evolution. Depende obviamente de la dificultad, pero generalmente planeo una semana 2 canciones y trato de planearlo de esa manera y trato de ver, ok, en esta semana puedo hacer estas 2 canciones, quizás 3, pero generalmente el tiempo de transcripción es más complicado que aprenderla. Okay. Para mí aprenderla es empezar a transcribirla y una vez que tengo el tab ni siquiera tengo que tan aprenderla mucho porque ya muchas cosas ya las escribí, por tanto ahora es solo tocar generalmente. Si me pasara un tab y tocara un tema y subiera una canción, quizás podría hacer en un día todo eso. Si la canción es relativamente no tan difícil, depende de eso solamente. Play a little funk slap group for us, please. I don't know. Um, I don't know. How much was your bass? Love your videos. I don't remember actually the price exactly, but it's not an expensive instrument actually, and you should probably get it now used. I don't know if it's in transit, maybe in your country. I don't know, but it's called a Washburn Taurus T24. Mr. Cover Solutions, do you have any tips for a guy that always hits the E string while slapping the A string? Okay, I was just talking about it in a way, but the problem with the other person that I don't remember the name was slapping the A string and having problems with hitting the fretboard. So it's usually a difficult thing slapping to have the accuracy and having the tone in your hands to get a good slapping motion. But it will be usual for you to play, and of course you play and you hit it. But for that you have a lot of options in a way. First of all, when you hit a string and you slap it, you need to kind of like secure it if you can, by muting the other strings. I usually try to mute the other strings even if they don't ring out, but because that way you will get a much clearer sound. So if you're messing around playing with the E string, I'm usually muting with this finger maybe all the strings. Okay, but of course when you change, it will be a little more difficult to not ring out to two strings. But the only solution will be trying to use especially your left hand fingers to mute undesired noises, you can call it. But the main thing about it is trying to play the same thing that you're trying to play and slower, so you can get the opportunity to okay, I have to play this, but then I have to mute this string and play this. Play, mute, and do the same thing, but at the same time. And you actually can use your thumb if you want to. I'm now skipping from the E string to the A string. And I'm using this finger maybe this way. I'm muting with this part of my hand with those fingers. And that it's an approach to actually playing the famous slapping with the left hand. Okay. Because you're trying to mute. Okay. If you do it with your thumb, it's not that recommended for me. Okay. Try to use these fingers. Okay, I think maybe one last thing, and we can just go home. I think it was about an hour that we started. I usually don't have the time for it, but let's go with maybe a final question, and then we can talk a little bit and close this session. I think you shouldn't practice more than an hour more than an hour a day in some cases. Okay, if you want to really go along with it, it actually burns you out when you play a lot, when you practice a lot. Maybe one thing. I usually play a lot more because I have to play a lot of things usually, and because I like to play. But if you're forced to it, or maybe you don't want to, try to leave it in even 15 minutes, but always daily. Try to practice daily. That's important for me, because many things happen when you skip a day, when you're not constant in something, especially with practicing and actually sleeping and going with other things will enforce your training in a way. So giving it time, it's always a good decision. So now we have some questions that I had to skip, I guess. ¿Cuántos tatuajes tienes? Solo estos dos, uno en cada brazo. Can you perform Higher Ground by Red Hot Chili Peppers? I actually don't remember. I usually played it. It's something like that. And of course, that's the only part I know. That's a really good example of using maybe this finger to mute the octave I'm doing the E in the E string. Of course, you could do it this way. But I prefer to use this because I think in this case it's a little bit more comfortable for me. Okay, if I try to mute with this hand, with this part of my hand, with those fingers, I'd probably mute the usual octave, the actual octave of it. Okay, so I like to do it that way. But it's not that easy as it looks. Any tips for really smooth sounding slides on a bass with frets? Whenever I try, I get a really crunchy scale. Not sure if that's the right word, but me, myself, and I asks, and I think I get what your problem might be. And usually, when you see someone sliding down or up, he's usually kind of like pressing down as if you're playing normally, and that's not the case. You shouldn't be sliding a note in this way with all your strength, and actually you will damage yourself a little bit, and it's not the case for you to slide down with that much intention. You really need to do a really smooth, almost touching. Of course, you need to touch the fretboard, but you need to apply a little bit less pressure, and let go of your thumb if you want to, so you can kind of like slide even more, and try to slide fast so you don't get the difference between the frets, of course. So I'm playing something like this, maybe something like this, and I'm kind of like letting go when I go to the sliding parts, or maybe something like this. We have two types of slides right there. We have this starting in from nowhere, and I'm just sliding into the note, and I'm letting it go a little bit, and I apply the pressure when I go into the note. Okay, it's kind of like letting it breathe a little bit. Okay, it's not like this. No, it's okay, and then same for this one. But in some cases you really need to accent it a little bit more, okay? Especially with if the intention is to maintain the sound of two notes, kind of like a hammer-on. Okay, if you do something like this, it really needs to sound like a sliding technique applied. But even that one is not that aggressive. It's not something like this. You know, you will damage yourself. What else? I think I had one or another final questions, maybe. ¿Sabes tocar jazz o blues? Y si sabes, ¿qué recomiendas para aprender a tocarlos? Creo que el approach más decente es primero aprender blues, porque blues es la madre, se podría decir, de muchas cosas, desde el rock hasta el jazz, obviamente. Y conocer la escala blues, de todas maneras, y conocer cómo tocar un 12 bar blues, que se llama usualmente, o blues de 12 compases, de una u otra forma. Entonces, lo primero importante es averiguar, y creo que tengo tengo un video sobre la escala blues. La puedes buscar, Lessons en este canal, Blues Scale, y vas a tener todas las posiciones de la escala blues que tiene este sonido. sonido lo puedes expandir obviamente en todo el bajo. Y una vez que tienes bien dominada esa escala, puedes empezar a construir líneas o construir improvisación alrededor de, por ejemplo, un blues de 12 compases, tal como te decía, que usualmente se compone de, si lo tocas, por ejemplo, no sé, en la, por ejemplo, la mayor se compondría de la mayor, que es la tónica o el primer grado, dos veces, y después vamos al cuarto, que es un re mayor, y de nuevo, pero vamos solo uno y vamos de vuelta a la A, y después nos vamos a mi mayor 7, probablemente todo esto puede ser con séptima. Rápidamente nos vamos a re nuevamente y terminamos con la. Okay, entonces tenemos 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Eso es bastante usual y hay muchas construcciones, pero esa armonía ayuda bastante a entender cómo puedes abordarla. Pero lo primero es aprender la escala blues, creo que es muy importante, y practicarla de esa manera. Solo con la escala blues, por ejemplo, de la menor, puedes tocar en un blues que componga varios acordes, ¿no? Por ejemplo, un blues de este tipo. Y lo que sea, ¿ya? Escala blues importante. Algo más, something else to start my final minutes. Mañana harás directo, amigo. No lo sé, pero la mayoría de los directos fuera del viernes los estoy haciendo en Twitch. En Twitch generalmente no hay nadie. Hay 2 personas o 3 viendo. No sé por qué, porque realmente tampoco es tan entretenido. Nunca respondo tanto. Sí, respondo, pero nadie pregunta. Pero generalmente estoy trabajando y generalmente estoy transcribiendo o tocando. Pero a veces puede ser interesante de ver. Repeating the same information in English. I have a Twitch channel you can visit and follow, and you can go there if you want me to if you want to watch me play something that I'm working on, maybe transcribing some things, maybe just messing around, maybe just playing along with whatever thing you can comment on, and maybe we can you can actually get a free song if you're staying that long in the stream, because maybe if there's not that many people, I can play your song and maybe we can work it out. Okay. Hace un directo durmiendo o cocinando. Me gustaría. Okay. I think that's enough for today. And we're leaving. Okay, so if you have any other final thing that I can rapidly answer, you can tell it, or maybe you can just say goodbye. I want to thank you, of course, everyone, for another hour of pleasure. And I just stream for an hour because I think it's kind of like gets too much for all of us when it's more than an hour. I don't know. If you wanted to extend it a little bit more in some other time, you can let me know. Maybe we can do something more extensive. But it depends on you, mens. Man, it depends on your questions and your collaboration with me, of course, because I'm not usually having nothing prepared for it. Okay, I'm going through a bit of a cold right now, so sorry about that. ¿Qué utilizas para grabar un bajo? Interfaz de audio, busca Scarlett 2 y 2, busca caja directa, googleas mucho. Consejos para adquirir velocidad en Slap, practicar mucho. Practicar y practicar y practicar lento. Para obtener velocidad hay que practicar lento. Es totalmente lo contrario. ¿Ya? Todo el mundo te lo va a decir. Si quieres ir rápido, tienes que ir lento primero, ¿ok? Nada de estar buscando cosas que no puedes lograr antes de tiempo. Enjoy the stream, dude. Thanks, Ricky B. Mateys and Lentilgen. Love your channel, keep it up. Thanks, Tyler Miller. Saludos desde el Perú. Eres un grande. Gracias, el Maximus. Y si tenéis la 2 y 2, estáis listos, ¿no? Estáis listos para la fama. Ok. ¿Algún ejercicio para agilizar la mano izquierda? Sí. Creo que este es el más fundamental y siempre lo digo, pero... hasta la muerte. Un dedo por espacio y practicarlo, pero muy a conciencia. No es esto. Jamás es esto. Jamás es levantar los dedos. Jamás es así. Jamás es con el pulgar aquí. Jamás es con la muñeca por detrás. Jamás es con... no, creo que eso es todo, ¿ya? Posicionar bien, pulgar, los dedos se mueven, pero en muy pequeños movimientos, ¿ok? Solamente se desplazan hacia abajo y hacia arriba, y lo más cercano posible a las cuerdas, y siempre en esta posición, avanzando como una escalerita. Cromatismo, ¿ok? Mucho semitonos y después escalas como este ejercicio que di recién. ¿Ya? Dicen que en realidad eres zurdo pero tienen la pantalla invertida. ¿Quién dice eso? No, no toco como zurdo. Pero soy zurdo, escribo como zurdo, hago varias cosas como zurdo. Me considero como ambidiestro en verdad, probablemente. Pero eso, ya. Okay, now we're leaving. Goodbye everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm liking it. I hope you like it. And I hope I can help you in a little bit of a way, okay? I'm going to play anesthesia. I'm going to play a lot of things, but it's just the time, okay? It's not the will. It's just the time, and having a little bit of time. In my case, it's difficult because I have to really prepare a lot of things. I have a lot of requests, a lot of petitions from people kind of like investing on me. So that's important for the channel and for me and for you if you want more of this. So please support it. If you want to support on Patreon, if you want to, you can subscribe, like, and do whatever the things that everyone tells you to do, and probably never do because I don't do in most of the cases. But because I don't know, if I want something, I subscribe. I just subscribe. I never even do comments. But in this case, it's important to comment because you learn about it. If you have a really good question, I will actually answer it. Okay, it's not a phantom question that will get lost in the way I read everything, but I just respond to good questions. And I usually, if you have a really dumb question, I will make fun of you because I don't like. No, it's a joke. But don't make dumb questions. Don't make questions that you can't answer for yours. If you have questions that you can't answer for yourself really by using all your means, then you can go and have an opinion, have a second opinion on me. Okay, okay, too much. Goodbye, bye everyone.